Chapter 2 of the Disappearing Dinner. Mugger McGee smiled a terrible smile. I'm as mean as can be. I'm a cat you seldom see. I'm light on my paws. I've the sharpest ever claws. And a rumble from my belly can turn your legs to jelly. Oh, he looks mean, doesn't he? Mine are jelly already, cried Charlie the Wymp, and so were Fat Alfie's, but he was hungry and angry. You stole my dinner, he yelled at Mugger McGee. No one steals my dinner and gets away with it. Chase him out of town, Charlie. I'll be right behind you. But Charlie ran off the other way as fast as his wobbly legs would go. Wimpy, Wimpy, called Mugger McGee, and you couldn't catch me, Fatso, if I was standing still and with my paws in wet cement. Looks like I'll be eating all your dinners from now on. Looks like you've just gone on diet, said Mugger McGee. Oh, he is really mean. Mugger McGee laughed and strolled off, leaving Fat Alfie to take his rumbling tummy home. All his dinner has been stolen. Back at number 3 Willybin Avenue, Fat Alfie and Charlie the Wymp sat down to have a think. I think we should leave town, said Charlie the Wymp, till Mugger McGee goes away. He's as mean can be. He's the cat you seldom see. Oh, Charlie the Wymp is very scared. Yes, said Fat Alfie. He's just trying to scare you. He has succeeded, muttered Charlie the Wymp. Well, I'm not leaving town, said Fat Alfie. We will outsmart Mugger McGee. We can get to the eating places before him. Do we have to? Moaned Charlie the Wymp. I'd rather stay at home and hide. Fat Alfie's tummy rumbled in reply. The next evening they set out for dinner earlier than usual, but the dinner was gone. Not a crumb of cake, not a nibble of steak, not even a whiff of tuna fish was left. Mugger McGee had beaten them to it, and so it went on. Fat Alfie got thinner and thinner. His ears drooped, his tail drooped, and his fine fur coat got baggy and saggy. You're not looking well, Alfie, said Millie the Mouser. Have you been ill, Alfie? Asked One-Eared Tom. Off your food, Alfie? Asked Clever Claus. Did you notice? Sobbed Fat Alfie to Charlie the Wymp. All the other cats just call me Alfie. Not one of them call me by my proper name. I'm not Fat Alfie any more. And he dried his eyes. This can't go on. We must do something about Mugger McGee. We? Gasped Charlie the Wymp. Do you mean me, as well as you, as in we? Of course, said Fat Alfie, but don't worry, I have a plan. That's what worries me, worried Charlie. But Fat Alfie wasn't listening. Do you remember last year's pantomime, which is like a show? Chapter 3. Very, very early the next day, Fat Alfie and Charlie the Wymp hid behind Sid's diner. I think they're waiting round the corner, near to the dirt bins. They waited and waited and waited. I don't like this, said Charlie the Wymp, for the umpteenth time. The sun's gone down now. Mugger McGee will be here soon. My knees are knocking and my teeth are chattering and I'm shaking all over. Shh, said Fat Alfie. I think he's coming. Mugger McGee swaggered around the corner. He was smiling and talking to himself. I'm as mean can be, I'm the cat you seldom see. And he searched the rubbish bin behind Sid's diner, and he had almost found the tuna fish when he heard a loud meow. He looked around and just caught sight of a large ear disappearing round the corner. "Oh," he said, "what a very large ear! It must belong to a very large cat. Larger than me. Perhaps I'll skip my starter for tonight." And he left without eating the tuna, and he headed for McFeeline's, the butcher's. Mugger McGee slid around the corner. He was whispering to himself. "I'm light on my paws, and I've the sharpest ever claws." He searched the rubbish bin behind McFeelin's, the butcher's, and had almost found the steak, when there was a very loud meow. He looked round and just caught sight of a very wide whisker disappearing around the corner. "Oh," he said, "what a very wide whisker! It must belong to a very wide cat. Wider than me. I think I'll skip my main course tonight." And he left without eating the steak and headed for Kit Kat Cafe. At the top of Main Street, Mugger McGee peered around the corner. He was muttering to himself, "And a rumble from my belly can turn your legs to jelly." And he searched the rubbish bin behind Kit Kat's Cafe. He had almost found the chocolate cake when there was an ear-splitting meow. He looked around and he caught sight of a very long tail. "What a very long tail," he whispered. "It must belong to a very long cat, longer than me." And at that moment a giant paw with giant claws came around the corner. "It's a gigantic cat," whispered Mugger McGee. "Larger, wider, and longer than me. Yikes, I'm out of here, right now." And he ran off as fast as he could. Just in time, as a giant cat came around the corner. It had Fat Alfie's face and Charlie the Wimp's feet. We did it," cried Fat Alfie. "We ran Mugger McGee out of town. Good thing we still had our Puss in Boots costume from the pantomime." That's like a show. Charlie the Wimp peered out from the middle of the costume. "I'm tired out," he moaned. "Next time you get a brilliant idea, I want to stand on your shoulders." Look, they're inside the kitty costume. Both of them. What a big kitty costume they've got. "Oh, stop moaning, Charlie," grinned Fat Alfie, jumping down. "Come on, it's dinner time. Let's eat." The end.